What is good, everybody? It's your boy Leonard Pinckney, aka LP, aka Agent P, here to give you guys your latest episode of the Nuggets Talk Recap. And this one is a big game, ladies and gentlemen. The Philadelphia 76ers and the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets coming in 28-13. This was a big matchup, obviously. It's a Jokic Embiid matchup. Everyone wants to see it, national TV. Let's go ahead and get into this recap, y'all. Really good game. First quarter, 6:44 mark at 16-15 Philadelphia. Both teams came out hot, man. Embiid was 7 early. KCP had 6. 27-24 Denver. They took the lead with 3 minutes left. MPJ came out hot. He had 10 points early after making back-to-back threes. And Denver led in the first quarter 38-36. They shot 65% for the quarter. Philly was at 63%. Philly or Embiid already had 14 points in the first quarter. Jokic was at 6-2 and 3. 6:40 mark in the second quarter was 57-53 Denver. The Nuggets reserves actually did well in this stretch, and they actually played this stretch really well. They increased their advantage by 2. Christian Brown and Peyton Watson were really good in this stretch. Brown had 11 points during his stint, and P. Watt had 5 assists and a really nice assist during this play. A couple of nice assists from P. Watt in this one. 2:13 at 69-67 Denver. Both teams still red hot. Denver at 56%, Philly at 63 still. 109 mark, Philly actually came back and took the lead with a quick run on their own. Jokic turnover and an Embiid block led to a KCP, or on KCP, led to a 9-2 run, and that made Malone call a timeout. But Denver did respond after Malone called that timeout really well. They were able to get the game tied at the end of the half. A couple good possessions and then a Jamal Murray buzzer beater. Got the game tied going into halftime. Philly was shooting the lights out, dog. 67% shooting in the first half. Denver was really good too, 58%, but the defense was not there in the first half for either squad. Jokic was at 15-8-3, and Embiid was at 21-7-4. Maxey had 18 for Philly. And Murray and Porter each had 13 for the Nuggets. In the third quarter, it was 87-83. Philadelphia at the 9:20 mark. Embiid was passing well out of double teams. He was up to 9 assists at this point. The 4:58 mark, this is when Denver made a nice little run, got a 5-point lead here. Philly got a couple stops in a row to build an 8-point lead. Philly was up 97-92. They built a nice lead on an 8-0 run, but then Aaron Gordon cut the lead to 5 after an and one. And then from the 4:58 mark on, Denver scored or ended the quarter on a 12-2 run. They were hitting their open threes. Jokic continued to destroy the offensive glass. He had 14 total rebounds at that point. 11 of them were offensive. He was killing the offensive glass tonight. And Denver went into the fourth quarter up 104-99. But this is when the break happened. 6:38 mark, Philly is up 2, 115-113. Jokic and Embiid both checked in with the game tied at 111. I believe Maxey got a layup, and then Embiid and Jokic traded jumpers, prompted a timeout from Denver. They went up 2, and then Philly went on a quick 8-0 run, or Embiid went on an 8-0 run on his own, a 3, a bucket, and another and one. Got the lead to 121-113. And then it was 123-111 with 3:29 left. Embiid and Jokic traded jumpers again, but this time the Nuggets' execution in the fourth just wasn't great, and I'll talk about that later. And Philly ended up outscoring Denver 27-17 in the fourth quarter, and Philly ended up coming away with this one. They won the game 126-121. Round 1 goes to the Sixers here. Headlines for tonight's matchup. What did Jokic do tonight? 25 points, 19 rebounds, including 11 offensive rebounds, and only 3 assists. Now, you'd say the 3 assist number was low, and it is low for Jokic, but I think he was still making a lot of plays off the offensive glass. He had a lot of hockey assists in this one, and a lot of passes where guys are just not making wide open shots when he was making the primary play. So even though the box score will say it was a bad game, he was playmaking really well still, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And he was hitting his shots when he needed to. Shot 11 for 20 in this one. Most of his misses were him getting his own shot back, so it was a good effort from Jokic tonight. Just wasn't enough. Embiid was incredible tonight, and I'll talk about him a little bit later, but another thing to account for the low assist total was that Murray had 10 assists in this one, so he was the one making most of the primary playmaking here. I think the game ended up being lost during this little stretch in the fourth quarter where the execution from the Denver Nuggets just wasn't very Denver Nuggets-like. You were used to seeing this team when it's time to lock in, to lock in. I was even saying it to myself while the game was happening. I was like, okay, Philly's up 8 here. Let's lock in, get a good possession. Then you see Aaron Gordon try to go all the way down like a bull in a china shop and dribble it off his leg. There were 2 critical possessions. Let me wait before I get into that and go ahead and just jump into the next topic, which is Jamal Murray in this one. So he had a really good night, almost perfect. Keyword being almost. 17 points and 10 assists. I thought he was properly aggressive in this one, but Maxey just outplayed him pretty much. But he was still playing well enough for us to win this game. But there was this really weird stretch here in the fourth. After there was a really weird stretch in the fourth where for 3 straight possessions, Jamal did not make good decisions. There was 2 back-to-back passes to Jokic that were really bad. So he had 2 turnovers there. He had an opportunity to shoot a wide-open shot, didn't, got caught in the air, took a bad shot against Maxey, and that coincided with the 8-0 Embiid run on his own, and that's what ended up losing the game. And this was a game where the margins were so tight. It's really hard to it sucks to kind of put the game on them because you're going to make mistakes in a game no matter what. But in a game where the margins were so tight, that's what ended up probably being the difference in this one, was him making those tough decisions down the stretch, coinciding with Aaron Gordon dribbling the ball off his foot for no reason. I was yelling at him the entire way up the court to pass the ball, and he still dribbled off his foot. He deserved it, not make a good decision. We had 4 out of 5 possessions where we weren't getting Jokic the ball, and Philly, on the opposite side, getting Embiid the ball every time and getting a good decision out of it every single time. Shocker. And that ended up being the difference in this ball game. So Jamal it's tough. I don't want to put too much blame on him, but like I said, when the margins are that tight and a game where both teams were shooting really well, going back and forth at each other, the smallest mistake ended up being difference, and that's what did Denver in tonight. Talking about the others in this one, MPJ had 20 and 5, 4 of 8 from 3. He came out red hot. But it's kind of the same song and dance that we get with Michael Porter, right? It's coming out red hot and then over the course of the game kind of just disappearing. 10 points in the first quarter, 10 points for the rest of the game. 14 points in the first, or 15 points in the first half, or 13 points, in the first half. Only 1 point in the third quarter, and then 6 points in the fourth, but those 6 points came during Denver's desperation comeback time. He hit a 3, and then he got fouled on the 3 by Embiid. So, yeah, man, he just got froze out again. It's another game where you wish Michael Porter got more shots. He didn't, and it's kind of just is what it is, right? As Nuggets fans, we can't really say anything else about this team. This team's really, really good. So you can't really complain too much about it. But yeah, it was just tough not seeing him get open looks. You saw a lot of open looks in the second half by these Nuggets, and you wish Michael Porter was the one taking. AG, I commend him for his effort tonight. 16, 6, and 4. He did a lot of the guarding of Embiid tonight. They kept Jokic off of him, especially after he got a couple fouls early. And he did an admirable job. As good as you can against Embiid, right? Embiid is a walking bucket. That man will score no matter what. So I really do commend his effort, and he was finishing well around the rim. So no complaints from AG, really, except for that one dumb turnover in the fourth. KCP had 13 points on 5 of 13 shooting. He had a really, really good start in the first quarter, and then the rest of the game, he kind of just tailed off. Had some open looks late, couldn't knock him down. Christian Braun was incredible in the first half, 11 points, and he was a no-show in the second half. He reverted back to just looking like that scared player. He airballed a 3 in the corner. He missed an assignment defensively, which just doesn't make sense. So you thought you were seeing some strides from him in that first quarter, and then first half, and then second half was just it was a dud. Reggie had a solid game with 10 points, and Peyton Watson, only 5 points, but a couple of really nice assists in this one. A shovel pass off of a pick and roll to DJ was a highlight for sure. I like to see that development. It's good to watch. But the night belongs to Joel Embiid, man. He's been playing like the MVP. I don't know if he's going to win it because of the games, but that guy can score like very few others can score in this league. And I commend him especially tonight because there wasn't too much foul baiting. You see him a lot more just diving into guys and throwing it up. He maybe did that like 2 or 3 times in this one, but it wasn't that much. A lot of the fouls were pretty legitimate, so I'm not going to hate on this game at all. I thought he was incredible. He was especially incredible from the perimeter, man. His jump shot was lethal tonight. 41.7 rebounds and 10 assists. The assists, Honestly, Denver was playing this defense where it was just like they were doubling way too easily, so it was easy for Embiid to just make the next pass, and it's kind of annoying. I hope the Denver adjusts in about 10 days when they play Philadelphia again. So, but credit to Embiid, man. Incredible night. 12 of 15 from the line, 13 to 22 overall at home. Did what he had to do for his team. Round one goes to Embiid. Tip your hat to the man. He was incredible tonight. Stats talk: Nuggets at 50%. Philly finished at 56%. Nuggets out-rebounded Philly by 14 in this one. And usually you out-rebound a team, you do better. Including, 11 of the out-rebounded them by 14, 16 offensive rebounds. But just couldn't execute down the stretch when they needed to because turnovers were close. Every stat here was close. But that little stretch in the fourth quarter was just enough to put Philly over the top. Denver now 28-14 on the year. They're going to get a couple of days off before they have another measuring stick game. They're going to go to Boston to play the number 1 seed in the East, Boston Celtics, to see how they measure up with them this season. Thank you guys for listening to the Nuggets Talk Recap. I'm your host, Leonard Pinckney, a.k.a. LP, a.k.a. Agent P, and I will see you next time.